Welcome back to Ben's Garage. Back on the Mighty Panda. Now, previous video, I don't know if I'm putting these out in order. We did the shocks and springs. Now, I did the video on the other side. When it came to doing this side, it was coming apart lovely, but the front spring hanger bolt was seized onto the bush. I ended up having to cut it out, and it was a bloody nightmare. Luckily, the Hobbit went up to the local tractor supply store, or like the Bricko, but it's quite an agricultural type of Bricko. They had the pretty much identical bolt, not quite the same, it's just a little bit longer, the threads are just a little bit longer. That's all on, tightened up, torqued up. The last thing on the back axle we got to do is some wheel bearings. We've got a pair of SKF wheel bearings. These come with a rubber seal, and there is a lip for these rear wheel bearings, so hopefully that should be straightforward kind of a job. We've also got some brand new Bosch brake drums. I've not even opened this box up yet, so let's just have a quick look inside. Nice shite and briny brake drums. So they'll be going on. Oh. Also, a new set of Bosch brake shoes. I've also got some handbrake linkages. They do seem free, but I might we'll have a look. Also, I've got a fitting kit which has got all the springs and the retaining pins and springs. And just in case, I'm only going to change these if they're leaking or really bad. A pair of wheel cylinders. Then that will be this back axle complete. And then all I'm going to do is change the oil in the rear diff. Obviously the rear diff axle. So that's the plan for today. So I'm going to start taking this side apart. We'll bring you along and we'll see how straightforward it is. It should be fairly easy. I've got a bucket here to catch any oil. I've got it jacked up quite high. Let's crack on, see what we can do. I'm assuming this middle nut, I don't know what it does to be honest, but I'll take it off anyway. People will probably say, why are you not using an impact gun? These are only little bolts, so, and it's an old car. I don't want to whack an impact gun on these little bolts and it snaps the bolts. So that's a 10mm in the centre. Now typical Fiat 12mm on the brake drum. That's one. That's two. Those two can come out. Give the drum a gentle tap. That'll fall off. There we go. It's quite rusty in there. It's not too bad. I've seen worse. Keep it as a spare, I suppose. And looking at the shoes, they're quite new. So I'm wondering whether to leave that, just clean the shoes up, clean the drum up. Let me just check the cylinders. Oh, seized up. Oh, you bugger. That one goes in all right. Oh. That's got water and rust in it and that's seized up, so we'll be changing that out. But I don't think the rest of it needs changing. Looking at that, Let's see if these cylinders look the same. They're the same length and everything. Yeah, I might just change that out. Plenty of meat on the shoes. Just give it all a good clean up. And when we sell the car, we'll just send it with the bits, I reckon. So I'm going to quickly change this cylinder out. I've slackened the 2 mounting bolts. We're going to get a bit of brake fluid all over the floor in a minute. So hopefully I can get this job done quick. I haven't got a brake pipe clamp to put on that flexi hose. So I shall just quickly whistle this pipe off and swap it over. One dirty rotten old wheel cylinder. One nice clean wheel cylinder. We'll get that put in now. I don't know, what do you think? Should I change all the brakes just so that they're all new? Doesn't look like they've been on there that long, so it's a bit... Sod it. Let's put new shoes on and new drums, and we know it's done then, don't we? So I know we're selling the car, but we'll know that it's right. That was a bit of a twat to get off. I think these are different. Got a pair of these, but they don't look the same. That one's got quite a bend on it. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get the light on the job. Bend's got like a half moon on it, so I'm just gonna... It's all free. Oh, what do I do? Do I change the bearings as well? Being as I've spent all that time changing everything on the front, I'm going to change everything on the back. So I'll put my finger in there, push it back through with a screwdriver as I pull the wheel bearing out. Don't know if you can see that. That looks like a lot of water in there. So yeah, I think it was a good call to change the wheel bearing as well. So I'm just going to... Don't really want to bend that brake pipe too much. Just get that out of the way. And then we'll have a set to. I'm hoping that that's not a sign of things to come inside the axle. I'm going to change the oil in the axle anyway, but there's a lot of water there. Rust and God knows what. You see, this shaft has got a lot of up and down movement. Now there is a lip on that edge there, which that bearing sits into. Now these bearings are exactly the same as what's on the front, apart from these ones have got that groove. And that's to sit on there. And that's what holds your half shaft in line with the diff. If you fit the wrong wheel bearings and they don't sit on that lip, that can potentially put your half shaft out of alignment with the diff and it'll wear the bearings out in the diff. So just pay attention to that if you've got to be playing around with one of these Pandas. Now it does come with a new axle seal, so I will be putting a new one of those in. I think what I shall do is put a bucket underneath, because I can imagine there's going to be some crap falling out of there. Do with a seal puller really, but I haven't got one. There we go. One seal. Expertly removed. I'm going to squirt a bit of WD in there. I am going to be changing the back axle oil, so that seal just pushes in nicely. Make sure that turns alright. Don't know how far it has to go in. The other one was flush, so I'm assuming. Let's give it a little. I'm wondering if I can get the shoes all in place before I put the I didn't film it all, a little bit of a struggle. New wheel bearing on, new shoes, new cylinder. Now these have automatic adjusters, so when you put your foot on the brake it pushes the shoes out, and these are like coil springs. This coil spring, it pushes the piston pushes out, pushes the shoe out to meet the drum, and these things slide on the shoe, so that's how it adjusts itself up. And then your handbrake is your handbrake. So I'm going to clean the drum up now and stick that on. In fact, before that, let's get this bolt in. This just holds the half shaft to your bearing. It's only a 10mm bolt, so it doesn't need to go too tight. Hence the small ratchet. I've run out of brake cleaner, so I'm just going to wipe it around the inside with a bit of petrol, just to get off any of that, they coat them with wax to stop them going rusty. And hopefully this will just slide straight on. He says. Alright, let's see if I can... That's that one in. Yes, red light's on. Wrong way around. Feels a bit tight, but they'll settle in. So what we'll have to do is bleed this brake out and then pump the pedal, and that will square everything up inside there, and then we can adjust the handbrake if we need to. I'm going to get the other side done first, and then we can bleed all the brakes out together. The front ones are already bled out. They're new calipers on the front, new cylinders on the back, so we'll bleed those out at some point. And then that's pretty much this back axle finished. Just got to grease up the prop shaft, change the oil in the axle, and got a cross member to bolt up underneath. There's a bolt missing out of that, so I know I've got to do that. But once I've got the other side brake done, we'll jack the front of the car up to the same height, nice and easy to get underneath then, and we can sort out this exhaust leak and other bits and pieces underneath. Then it's a few jobs on the front and we're good to go.